breakfast. I'm just making a post-gym smoothie, so I didn't want it to be too big. So in this one, I'm just putting some leafy greens for some fiber, some apple, usually I use frozen apple. I'm adding some frozen bananas. I'm going to add some unsweetened almond milk. There wasn't much almond milk left in that carton, so I'm actually also going to add some green tea. So I'm also going to add this hemp protein. It's basically just hemp seeds. It's got a really good omega-3 ratio. It's also really high in fiber, and I really like the texture that it gives the smoothie. And of course, you have to add cinnamon to everything if you're me, so I'm going to add cinnamon to this smoothie. I'm also going to add maca powder and spirulina. So just 1 teaspoon of each. Spirulina is really high in iron, and then maca powder is supposedly really good for your hormones. Blend it until it's nice and smooth. Luckily we have a Vitamix. I've had this baby for like 6 years and it's my favorite thing that I own. But yeah, that's it. And this held me over for filming Ryan's breakfast, and then I had some lunch after.
So I'm going to be making some tofu scramble for breakfast. So first thing you got to do is get a skillet and turn it to medium. So you're going to go ahead and open up the tofu, and you're going to want to drain out any of the liquid that's inside. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and just take the block of tofu and toss it onto the skillet. So once they're on the skillet, you're going to want to go ahead and mash up the tofu to kind of make it resemble a crumbled texture. It'll look a little bit like eggs once you start doing that, so go ahead and smoosh it up. Alright, so next I'm going to go ahead and add some turmeric. So turmeric is really good for inflammation, and you don't really need that much of it, you can just put a little bit on there. But then I add some black pepper after that, because black pepper is supposed to help increase the absorption of the turmeric. So after you add those in there, go ahead and stir it up and make sure the turmeric's nice and evenly distributed. And then once it sits for a little bit, you'll notice that it starts to absorb the turmeric and it all turns yellow, kind of like scrambled eggs. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and add some Mrs. Dash. This stuff is awesome. They have a whole bunch of different flavors and it's mostly salt-free. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and add in some of these frozen stir-fry veggies. And then once I pour those in there, I go ahead and just mix it up, make sure those are evenly placed on the heat. And then I'll go ahead and add on a top to the skillet just so it'll steam up a little bit more. So after that, I'm going to make some toast. I'm using some Dave's Killer bread, and this stuff's great. It's whole wheat and it has no high fructose corn syrup, and it's super tasty. So go ahead and toss those in while that's cooking. While the tofu scramble's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and make a smoothie. First thing I add is some greens. Then I'm going to take some flax seeds and put those in with the greens. After that, I'm going to toss in some Vivo Life protein powder. It goes so good with these smoothies. Next, I'm going to go ahead and toss in 2 frozen bananas. I like using the frozen bananas because it helps make the smoothie a lot more like an ice cream texture, almost like a milkshake. So after that, I'm going to add in some of these frozen berries. Just toss some of them in there and then take out the big chunk that falls out. Then I add a little bit of frozen mango and some silk almond milk. This is a unsweetened vanilla flavor. So pour some of that in there and then blend it all up. So you can see the texture is super thick and it's super creamy. So you go ahead and pour that out. I had to use a spatula because it was so thick. So yeah, that's it. You have a finished tofu scramble with some toast and a nice smoothie to go along with it. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, feel free to leave us a comment down below and make sure you're subscribed. Thanks so much for watching.